Hi guys, Samantha from Jessama Tutorials here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create an Ikat cane. Now please forgive me if I am not pronouncing that right, but that is how it's spelt, so I'm presuming that's how you pronounce it. But anyway, I'm going to be showing you how to create the traditional Ikat cane, which was the original technique of Donna Kato. And I'll be showing you my own version of the technique that I happened to come up with one day. So we'll be doing the traditional one first, and today we're going to be using souffle. So for the traditional Ikat cane, I thought we'd use souffle sea glass. So I'm just going to cut it lengthwise. Now we need to do a skinner blend, and this isn't going to be the same as normal skinner blends. Because normal skinner blends, you like to run them through the pasta machine until they are a full blend. But with the Ikat, you want to stop halfway. So we're going to be using souffle sea glass and souffle white. So I'm going to go and prepare those for the skinner blend, and I'll come back when I am ready to roll it through a pasta machine. So I'll see you there. Okay, so I've got the two triangles prepared. This is white souffle and this is sea glass souffle. And now what we want to do is we want to put the two together like this. And now you can always have it together like that so it forms a square, but you could also offset it slightly so that you can have a little bit of your pure white and pure colour left. In this case, the sea glass. So you'll just chop off those triangles and pop them back with your colour, and this is what you'll run through the pasta machine. Now I'm just going to switch off and position the camera so you can see me doing it over the pasta machine, so you can see what I'm doing. So I'll be back in just a moment. See you there. Okay, so I've brought it over to the pasta machine, and now I'll show you how to run it through the pasta machine. So when you're doing a skinner blend, you always want it so that you have one colour on one side and another colour on the other side. When you run it through the pasta machine, it's got to be one solid colour on each side. You don't want it so you can see both colours on each side. So this is the wrong way to run it through, because you can see that you've got two colours on each side. You want it so you only have one colour on each side. So I'll run this through, and this is the thickest setting. So you elongate it, and then you'll fold it over and pinch the bottom, and you'll run it through again so that you only have one colour on each side. You don't want to be running it through this way, because then you've got two colours. And you'll just continue to do that. So I'm just going to show you, because it doesn't take too long with the souffle because of this clay's texture, which I find wonderful. See, the sea glass is a little bit harder than the white, and so you see this crackling. That's what happens when one clay is a little bit older than the other. Now, I'll fold it over one more time probably. There we are. So you can already see that the blend is starting to come through. You can see that there's some white on this side, and then the white is starting to get some dark green. This is the point where you want to stop for the Ikat cane. If you were doing a proper blend, you'd want to carry on folding it just the way I did it. But this is where we stop for now. So what I want to do is I want to lengthen the blend. I don't want to lengthen it this way. I want to lengthen it this way so stripes get longer and not wider. And I've taken it down to my 4th setting. This was rolled through on my 7th setting, which is my thickest. Now I've taken it down to my 4th. And I'll just roll it through so I've lengthened it. Now I'll bring it over to the tile, and I'll show you what we will do next. So I'll see you in just a second. Okay, so we're back over at the tile, and I'm going to show you what to do next. So now you're going to want to go get your tissue blade, and you're going to want to cut this into sections. Now you can always chuck away this piece because you want a straight edge for this. So I'll pop that into my scrap heap, and you'll just want to cut off a piece and stack it onto the next piece. And you will continue doing this up the entire length. And I'll show you what this looks like in just a second. Now, depending on how many times you roll the Skinner blend through the pasta machine dictates on how large these stripes are going to be in your cane. So if you let it go quite a long time, like I did, your stripes are going to be fairly thin. But if you stopped fairly early in the process, your stripes are going to be larger. So just experiment around with that and see what you can find. You might like some other technique. Well, experiment around and see what you can find. You might like the larger stripes, you might like the smaller stripes, but you're not going to know unless you try it out. And you might even come up with a new version of the Ikat cane. So we're almost done. Okay, I'm going to pop this away because this is not even. I'm just going to tap this down so all the layers are nice and pieced together. I'm going to show you what we have. So you can see we almost have like this we have a really nice grassy effect. Now what we want to do is we want to just butt these ends up because they're a little bit untidy at the moment. And then what you want to do is you just want to start reducing. And this can be a bit of a fiddly process because you want to reduce it equally. And unfortunately the middle sometimes, a lot of the time when you're reducing canes, doesn't move as fast as the outside edges. So you want to be tapping it constantly and making sure that it's all even. So over here you can see that this bit's bowed out and this bit's bowed out. You'll just turn it over and flatten out those bits and push them back in so they're even. And then you'll continue reducing from the top. And then you'll just go back to tap it all down, make sure it's nice and even. And by doing that over and over again, you'll end up making your cane square, or at least square-ish. Almost there. Just got to make sure that my cane is all nice and tidy and even. And now another thing to keep in mind when you're making canes is if your one clay is a bit softer than the others, it's going to reduce faster. So this white is fresher than the sea glass colour, and so it's reducing faster, and so I have to keep tapping it down a bit because I'm waiting for the sea glass to catch up. But if you have a bit of practice, you'll find that it's not actually that difficult to manage it. But if you're a beginner, I'd strongly suggest working with clays that have almost the exact same softness to them, because it can be a little bit hard to deal with one hard clay and one soft clay in the same cane if you're not used to reducing and those sorts of techniques yet. So I'm just going to cut this to show you what it looks like. Now cut the other side. I'm just going to get my Lucy clay blade because that's my special slicing blade. There we are. Put these aside. And that's what it looks like. So I'm just going to bring this up to show you. So you can see it looks quite grassy, and that's basically because of the colours. And if I bring this one over, this one's completely different. And the reason for that is because my stripes in this one are larger. So this is what the larger stripes will look like. And also my stripes in this one are longer, so it really does depend on that to what effect you're going to get. But really just play around with it, as it's a really versatile technique, and I can see you using it in many different canes. Like if you wanted to start a landscape cane maybe, this would be great for doing the grass in the background. So that's the first bit of the cane tutorial, and so I'll come back in just a moment and show you the second part, which is my version of the Ikat cane. So I'll see you there. Okay, so I've gone ahead and got ready to do another Skinner blend, and this time we're still using souffle, but we are going to be using jade souffle and white souffle. So what you want to do, like before, you want to just run it through your pasta machine, folding it over in the exact same way. Now I've done a skinner blend video before. I'm planning to update it because I didn't include the pasta machine in the video, and that is why I'm showing you this now. But if you want to go have a look at my skinner blend video, I will keep it linked in the links below, as I include some special tips in there since it is a specific skinner blend video. I show you how to do a 3-part blend and a 2-part blend, so be sure to check that out. But anyway, with this one we are going to be taking it a bit further with our blend. This time we are going to take it the whole way so there is a solid blend. Put that back at the edge there. Okay, so we're almost done with this. And what I really like about the souffle is that because of the actual texture of the clay, it has a really lovely satin finish to the clay. The skinner blends happen a lot quicker with it. The clay colours seem to melt into each other a lot quicker than with other brands. And it's also a non-stick clay, so you're not going to get residue on your fingers. So anyway, this one doesn't have to be a perfect blend, but we want it to basically be finished. So just like that. Now what we want to do is we want this blend to be a bit shorter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over itself like this. It's a little hard to show you here because usually I do this on my tile, but I'll show you anyway. I'm going to just basically squish it up against each other like that. And this is quite thick, so it shouldn't bend over itself. And this is how I like to shorten a skinner blend if I'm running into trouble while I'm doing the blend, or if I just want it shortened. Okay, then I'll just try to square it up or make it into a rectangle because it was going a bit round there, and I'll run it through the pasta machine again. And I just like to tidy it up a little bit like that. And now it is ready for me to use. So I'm going to, just like before, I'm going to run this through on my 4th setting and expand the skinner blend like that. And now I'm going to bring this over to my tile and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so we're back over by the tile and we're going to now make it into this cane. So what we want to do is we want to take our tissue blade, which is over here, and we just want to trim up the end to make it flush. And we're going to take a small piece, and what we're going to do, like the other one, with the other one we laid it so the colours matched, so the green was where the green was and the yellow, the white was where the white was, but this time I want to offset it so that the white is a bit higher. I want to offset the colours so they're a little bit higher than each other, and then we'll pick that up and I'll just show you what happened. So you can see the white over here is higher than the white over there, and so it shows up. And now with this one, you want to set it, so like this one, you want to set it down again in the original position where it was. So I'll just show you what that looks like in just a sec. So you're going to go in an up and down formation. So you can see this one is lower than these ones and these ones are higher than this one. So you want to be going in a zigzag format. So I'm sure you get the idea. I hope you do. If you don't, I'm sorry, I'm not explaining things. Sorry for that. That was Pumpkin, my dog outside. She gets upset when birds land on the balcony, and that was her barking at them. So don't worry, that was just the dog. But anyway, so you can see we're going in a zigzag formation here. So I'm just going to continue and show you what it looks like. Whoops. You know what? I'm going to actually carry on doing this as I'm doing here because it can take a little while, and I'll come back when I'm done with this and when Pumpkin's finished barking. So I'll see you there. Okay, so I've just about finished. This is the entire sheet. So you can see that we've got some straggly ends over here. All I do is I like to just pinch those and squish them and butt them back up towards the cane, so that we form a square again, well, a rectangle. Now what we want to do with, just like the other cane, the original one, we want to start reducing it so that we can get a more square shape out of it. So I'll go ahead and do that since you've already seen it, and I'll be back when I've reduced it to the length that I need it. So I'll see you there. Okay, so I've gone and reduced it, and I chopped off the ends, and this is what it looks like at the moment. So you could just leave it like this, and the reason it looks like this is because I didn't take the blend as far as I usually would to the point where it's actually completely blended. It's just that the lines in here are just so finite that you wouldn't really be able to see them if you did an Ikat cane like this. It's only because the lines in here are so large. So this is another version. You could try this out and it would look very nice, but we're going to make this one. So what we're going to do now is we want to flatten this out a bit because we want to cut this in half and place it on top of itself. So I'll just explain that in a minute. So it'll just take some time to do that nicely. And because this clay is so soft, it works very quickly for this. But another thing that I like about the souffle is that even though this cane might be really warm and you cut it with a nice sharp blade, it's not going to distort. And I think that's because it contains particles of some kind that keeps it from distorting. So it's a lovely clay to cane with, and I personally prefer it to Primo to a certain extent in summer. Because, well, it doesn't get as hot as Primo does in summer. So anyway, we're going to cut that in half, and that's what it looks like at the moment. And now what we're going to do is we're going to produce a mirror image. So what you can do is you can either take the smaller side over here and create that image, or you can take the larger one and create a more rounded image. Now I can't create the exact same technique that I did, the exact same pattern that I did in this one, because the stripes were different lengths, but this is basically the technique that I used. So what you'll do is you just pop those together and then make an effort of popping the two together and making it one solid piece of clay. So you want to spend a little bit of time mushing it together, and this helps if the clay is warm as well. If your clay is cold, you're going to spend a lot longer doing this. And what you're doing here is you're also squaring it up and getting it ready for you to slice into a nice square slice. Okay, so that's about right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my nice sharp UC clay blade and I'm going to trim off the end to show you what it looks like. So that's what that end looks like. I'm going to try the other end as well. There, that's better. This side got a little bit distorted, and sometimes that will happen, but that's basically what it looks like. So I'll just bring this up to show you what it looks like. And of course, if you go and have a look at the title photo or the thumbnail for the photo, it will, for the video, you'll be able to see this cane closer up, and you'll also of course see this cane. But that's basically the traditional Ikat cane, and my accidental version, which I happened to come up with by accident because I blended my Skinner blend too much and I did the pattern and it didn't work out. But I messed with it and came out with this, and so I thought it looked pretty nice. So I do hope that that video was helpful to you, and if it was, please do check the links below, as there'll be links to more tutorials like this one, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.